When my wife filed for divorce, I thought the worst part would be losing her. But I was wrong. The true pain came when I sat in that courtroom and watched a lawyer take everything I had worked for over 2 decades. My businesses, my properties, the luxury cars, she claimed half of it all. By the end of the trial, she walked away with $18 million. I was left with scraps, and in the end, the judge handed me nothing but a dusty old envelope my father-in-law had left in his will. I remember laughing bitterly when I saw it. An envelope? Was this some kind of joke? My wife looked at me with that victorious smirk I had grown to hate. To her, this was the cherry on top of her win, me sitting with a worthless piece of paper while she strutted out as a multimillionaire. I shoved the envelope into my coat pocket and walked out of the courtroom with a heart heavier than stone. That night, I sat in my empty apartment with a single light bulb swinging overhead. The silence was unbearable. Out of frustration, I tore the envelope open, expecting nothing more than a sentimental letter or some faded photograph. Instead, I pulled out a folded document. My eyes scanned the words, and for the first time in months, my heart raced, not from anger but from shock. The letter inside revealed that my late father-in-law had entrusted me with the key to a hidden bank account. The account, unknown even to his own daughter, my wife, held investments, bonds, and assets he had secretly built for decades. He wrote that he had chosen me, not her, because he believed I was the only one who valued hard work and loyalty, while she only cared about money and appearances. I could hardly breathe as I followed the instructions. The next morning, I went to the bank he had mentioned. The clerk confirmed my identity, checked the codes written in the letter, and then showed me the balance. I nearly collapsed right there in the bank. The account contained more than $45 million. 4 days, I couldn't believe it. While my wife thought she had destroyed me, I was now wealthier than ever. I realized my father-in-law had seen through her greed long before I had. He had protected his fortune from her and left it in my hands. It was his way of making sure she didn't get away with everything. When the truth hit me, I felt a rush of satisfaction. But I didn't rush to show off my newfound fortune. No, I played the part of the broken man. My ex-wife flaunted her millions online, showing off vacations, designer clothes, and her new boyfriend. She gloated in every way possible, believing I was living in misery. I stayed quiet, slowly restructuring my life. I rebuilt my business empire, invested smartly, and within a year, I was living far above the level I had before. Yet, she had no idea. She thought she had won. Then came the day she called me. Her voice was shaky, desperate. She confessed that her millions were vanishing. Her boyfriend had manipulated her, siphoned money from her accounts, and left her drowning in debts. She begged me for help, thinking I still cared, thinking I was still the weak man she once controlled. I almost laughed as she cried over the phone. She wanted me to save her, the same woman who had ripped my life apart and mocked me in court. I told her coldly, "You chose money over love, and now money has chosen to leave you." Then I hung up. That was the last time I ever heard her voice. Years later, I looked back at that dusty envelope and realized it wasn't just paper, it was justice. It was proof that life has a way of balancing itself, of exposing greed, and rewarding patience. My ex-wife had lost everything she valued, while I had gained more than I ever dreamed of, both in wealth and in peace of mind. What she thought was her victory became her downfall. And what looked like my ruin became my greatest blessing. That old envelope had changed my life forever.